Hello. Welcome, super people building super lives. I'm your host, Deanne Jordan, your girl D. And today is a beautiful Tuesday. I mean, the weather outside is absolutely gorgeous. And I think I'm a bit overdressed in this turtleneck, but it's nice and warm and super cozy. I got it on sale, so I thought I'd rock it. I just had a 2 hour long interview for grad school, applying to Leslie University, and I thought that today would be the perfect opportunity to come and speak to you guys all about the topic of rejection. Now, rejection is something that happens maybe not in your lifetime or hasn't happened to you yet, but it happens pretty frequently in the course of a lifetime. You'll be rejected from, like, say you audition for a movie, you might not get a call back. Say you audition to get your credit score checked for, or you apply for a new mortgage and that gets rejected. Or say you are pursuing a lover and they don't have the same feelings. Hey Mike, thank you for joining my live. Now this has happened to me on numerous occasions. I've been rejected far out and far in between. I have had failed attempts at, fail is just failed attempts at first attempt at learning, or in learning, fail. First, first, A, attempt, I, in, learning, L, fail. First attempt in learning. I'm going to keep these mantras in mind to keep us going. That rejection is part of the territory. We have the right as human beings to say yes or to say no and to assert our boundaries. So just because you have feelings for someone doesn't mean they return the same feelings for you. I've found that out. I've reached out to several men before, and even after breakups, that I still have feelings for my ex, and they don't feel the same. They could just shut off completely. They either like you or they don't, and then they turn stone cold and they shut off abruptly. And that's really hard because once you have someone's heart, you think it's for the long term, and you think they're going to be with you for the ins and the outs forever. But some people don't have that same stamina and same commitment that you might have and bring to a relationship. And that gets really confusing in the way of love because people don't actually love you the same way that you love others. And we so often go into a relationship blindly thinking that the love we share will be returned to us, and that the love language that we project is actually, it will be projected back to us. And that's not always the case. Oftentimes it isn't the case. And that can be so hurtful and so damaging sometimes when we're thinking that we can have the same type of relationship that we most desire. Now, rejection comes in the form of, say you didn't get into a job. I've been rejected from jobs tons of times. I had some really nice rejection letters, like your qualities are so astute and you have so much to offer. Unfortunately, we went ahead with other candidates and we wish you the best of luck, and we pursuing other endeavors. I mean, I've interviewed and been rejected, and that happens. I mean, I bet that at least you've had rejection, at least from an interview, because there's so many wonderful qualified candidates out there, and there's so many people applying for the same jobs. And tomorrow, cross my fingers, I have a second interview for an ABA therapist, that working with children with autism, that I'm so hoping I get because it's right up my alley. The hours are perfect, and it's in Brockton, and the pay scale is phenomenal. And it'll be a great summer job, and it'll afford me the opportunity to go on vacation. My grandmother is turning 90 this weekend, so we're taking her down to the Cape, and we're going out to eat, and my brother is going to be there with his partner, and it's going to be an amazing time. So I'm really looking forward to that. So they said if you could come by after vacation, I get home Tuesday, and hopefully from there I'll be hired to work as an ABA therapist, because legitimately I am so freaking bored. I want to be used by God in such a tremendous way. I pray every day, Lord, please use me to change lives. Please use me to be a miracle in someone else's life. And I just want to shape lives and I want to reach the world. And recently I've been going through this amazing prayer transformation where I've been knocking off demons that have been surrounding me because I'm such a beacon of light. And my grandfather was actually a Freemason. And so he was involved in occultic practices in the government. And so I feel like a lot of my troubles and a lot of my sixth sight into like the spirit world has to do with the his practice as a Freemason and them knowing that I'm the divine being of God and of the light. So I've been really working with deliverance ministries and really seeking the help and authority, taking authority in Jesus Christ's name. There's so much power in the name of Jesus, and I find that if you can just turn to God in times of difficulty, when times of rejection, times of feeling ashamed, times of feeling lonely, you'll find all the fulfillment that you need because God's timing is the best timing. And sometimes God's no is just preparing you for something greater. Oftentimes, God says no, and it's only because you're going to be prepared for something greater in your life. So take every rejection with a grain of salt. I mean, I've been rejected from a boyfriend, and I actually ended up breaking up with myself. And that was the worst type of reaction I've ever experienced because I rejected myself. And when you break up with yourself, you do a lot of soul tearing, and you do a lot of, you do a lot of. I was so utterly depressed. I didn't feel like I existed. I didn't feel like I mattered. I felt so detached from who I was, from my personality, that I really had to refine myself. I had to go bit by bit and remake who Deanne Jordan was and what she stood for and what she loved and what got her going in the morning and what turned her spirit and like charred her heart. I felt so guilty being in a first world country. I just laid in bed for weeks on end. And this is when I was 18 and I had my first breakup and it did not go well. And my mother wasn't prepared in how to take care of me. And so she just let me sleep. And I just didn't eat and I barely drank. And I was so skinny and I was so sick. And I ended up going into a psych ward. And that was my most therapeutic, because I was crying out for help. And that was the most therapeutic thing for me was to get, because my mom knew I would never commit suicide. She raised me never to do that one. But I was so suicidal in my head. And then getting the group therapy and the support that I needed was so necessary. Because when you reject your soul, you reject who you are, you have nothing left to go on. And I don't recommend ever breaking up with yourself. Because you have to love and cultivate yourself. Because you should be your own best friend. Because no one else is going to be your best friend for you. You might have people that love and believe in you, but if you stop loving and believing in yourself, they're going to stop loving and believing in you. Well, maybe never stop loving you, but stop believing in you. So you need to treat yourself with love, care, and kindness. And you need to cultivate good habits that you're treating yourself gently and with respect. And if something isn't serving you, you have the right to leave. You have the right to say no. And you have the right to choose a higher calling and a higher path. And a path that maybe is untraditional, that maybe your parents don't agree with. Or maybe you just have this soul nudging from God to dive into ministry. And it might be unexplained and maybe no one can support you. But if you can support yourself, then that's the ultimate calling. So I highly, highly, highly recommend that you know that NO means next opportunity. So when someone says thank you next, you can even say thank you next. Because the person who's meant to be in your life will jump through fences to be with you, not be on the fence about being with you. And if they're hesitant, if there's a person in your life that's hesitant about being in a relationship with you, and they don't see you for all that you're worth and all the love that you have to give, then you need to do yourself a favor and move on and know that you're worth every bit of love and every bit of energy and every bit of enthusiasm and every bit of care that you would give that person. You should give that back to yourself. So in order to love another person, you first have to love yourself. And that stems from knowing who you are. And I suggest knowing who you are in Christ, knowing that the Creator made you in His image with His tenderness and love, that He created the heavens and the earth and thought the world needed one more of you too, which is so amazing. That God looked around and said, how about a Mike? Or how about a Deanne? And how about a George? Like, how about one of these fine creatures? And He created you, and you're here to shine upon the earth and to grace it with your presence and your glory and your contributions of love and kindness and care, because everyone has the ability to care for another person, and it all matters, and it's all up to you. How you handle rejection is entirely up to you. And just because God says no, it's only for your highest benefit. If that person says no, maybe they don't see your worth, and maybe you didn't realize that they have this aspect of themselves that was like their shadow aspect that was so unappealing to you. Maybe, that hot Marine is a struggling alcoholic, or has self-worth rejection, like self-rejection habits within himself that they keep hidden. So it's so important that you build a good self-esteem level within yourself, so that when rejection does happen, you can just brush it off and move on to the next opportunity. And no means next opportunity. So soldier on, people. Know that each attempt at making your best life is not seen by God, and that He wants the best for you, because you're a precious child of the God Most High. You're a holy royalty because God created you to be. You got to claim that birthright. Walk as if there's a crown upon your head, because you're a priceless piece of loving unconditionally. So Mr. Big Stuff, who you think you are, you're going thinking you're going to get it for free. So just know that you are tremendously loved and cared for by all-seeing, all-creating God. And there's so much opportunity out there for you, especially in America. And, you could be starving in the streets of Calcutta, yet you're here in America with your eyesight and your ability to walk, or your ability to wheel, and your ability to have a roof over your head and food on your belly, food in your plate, and money in your bank account. And even if you're lacking money, know that more money could come from any avenue. And it's just the next job is just right around the corner. You just got to plug away. And, there's reasons why you get turned away. Like, for example, the job that I got rejected from was in Bridgewater, and it started at like 7:30 in the morning, which was like really icky. And they said, oh, maybe we can make you go to 9, but like they expected you there at 7:30, so walking in at 9 would be like walking in late, So like I wasn't very pleased or inspired by that. And I live in Canton, so that's like a half-hour drive. So there's a reason for every closed door, and don't frown at yourself, and don't frown at that closed door, and don't remain looking at that closed door. Just see it for what it is, accept it, and move on, because there's so many wonderful opportunities right around the corner. There's so many wonderful people out there who are willing to embrace you for all that you are. You just have to connect with them. And I suggest going to church and building your social network there, and being a part of a life group or a growth group or a Bible study that can really transform your life. Well, so that's my talk for today. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope you're having a terrific week, getting lots of sunshine. It's summertime. So I'm looking forward to summer concerts, going to the beach, and going to the Cape this weekend. So I can't wait to sit poolside and enjoy the summer sun. And I hope you are enjoying the rest of your day too. Well, mahalo nui loa. Take care. Bye.